Hello everybody, this week on Ken's Tech Lab we're going to talk Wham Bam. And we're talking about Wham Bam plates for your resin printer. Stay tuned. Welcome back everybody, and this week we're going to talk about Wham Bam. Whoops, almost fell down. We're going to talk about Wham Bam and the build plate, the flexible build plate for the resin printer. And we're going to open this up, see what we have inside, and then we're going to actually put this on to my Jupiter Elegoo Resin Printer. Then we're going to put this on my Elegoo build plate right here. So let me just open up this and let's see what we have. So it looks like we have the Wham Bam plate itself, and it looks like we get two build plates. Nice. The Wham Bam magnet that's going to actually be applied to the build plate. And we also get some Wham Bam stickers. What is this? Silicone carbide waterproof abrasive sandpaper. So we can try to make it as smooth as we can to attach this. And so let's get going and see what we can do. Welcome back everybody. And like I said, now let me give you a little bit of backstory. Now if everybody has watched the Jupiter unboxing that I did with Jesse, we unboxed the Jupiter, we did the first print. The print failed on us. It stuck to the FEP sheet, and we didn't get a print out of it that entire time. So a few tries later, I was able to get their built-in Rook print out of the printer, and it stuck to the build plate. That is one time out of 5 tries, or 6 times, that we tried to print. The best print that I got out of here so far was this one right here. This was my second successful print. And that came out. It was really hard to get off the build plate, actually the rest of it. And this I blame on me learning new to resin printing. I blame all the failures on this one, the tearing and stuff on me, and being a noob on resin printing. I contacted Elegoo support. They wrote back and said, you know, try this, this, and this. I did all 3 or 4 things that they told me to try, and it still would not stick. You know, being from the FDM world and all the prints that I've done with all the regular PLA, PETG and everything that I've printed with on all the printers that I own, it's hard to come across and have the failures by just not sticking to the build plate. That was just weird. So this was supposed to be a full skull. The only thing I got was the lower jawbone with the teeth is the only thing that survived this print. Now let's talk about the build plate. The build plate is different from most other resin printers, as there's a spring system on it, on the leveling system, that you have to level it by the same way you would normally do by letting it go down on a piece of paper. The springs come up and then you tighten the springs to that height, so the build plate always goes in perfectly. But I also noticed that out of all the other different videos that I've watched, I've never seen a build plate get scuffed up so easy or get deep gouges in it with a flat blade trying to take off the print. And I did reach out to Elegoo again, to their support, and I never got a reply back from that one. I'm gonna have to try again. I really think that there's something wrong with this build plate. I think either the metal's too soft on the bottom or something like that. Other than that, I have no idea. So what I thought was, let's put a Wham Bam flex plate on it. And it'll be a new surface and it will be flat without any gouges in it. And that might actually do a better job. And that's where we are right now. We're at that point, putting and I'm gonna turn this toward me because I have to do the work, but I'll explain what's going on. So that's one, and over here, which is gonna be on the back side of this, is two. All right, so there is the 3M sticky side, and then the Wham Bam side that's going to be visible. Like I said, inside the package has a few more things. The Wham Bam stickers. A 400C sandpaper. And a 220 grit sandpaper. So this is my first time dealing with Wham Bam, and I've never used one of their flex plates, mostly due to every printer that I've purchased comes with a flex plate, and not one that doesn't fit or is wrong, but perfectly working build plates. So we have a thank you for purchasing from Wham Bam, which is pretty nice. And we have instructions. Now, everybody out there should always read the instructions, because you can either make an awful mistake that there's no turning around from, or you get very lucky. Okay, so the resin kit, you get two flexi plates, one magnetic base, one 400 grit, one 220 grit, and two Bam Bam stickers, Wham Bam stickers. Before you install the parts, please do a practice run by placing components in place without removing 3M backing to see if everything aligns correctly and that you understand the best order of assembly. Of course, they give you a warning, attention on this. Attention, it is the user's responsibility to prepare the build plate well before installing the magnetic failure. To do so may result in adhesive coming off at a later time. And we don't want the adhesive to be, to come off of this and this end up being in the vat and then crushing down on the, the actual monitor down there. So it says, thoroughly clean the whole build head by letting it soak in 90% or higher IPA. Pure acetone or 90% or higher ethanol will work. I don't have ethanol, but I do have 99% of PIA. Do not use mean green or other detergents for this. I did watch a video last night that somebody was cleaning their FEP with mean green, and not with alcohol. That was different. Sand the bottom of your build plate with 220 grit sandpaper included to remove any irregularities and contaminants. Clean again with 90% or higher IPA. And I did find the reason, because I did sand this down, was one of the suggestions from the support was to do a sand on it, which I did. And of course it turns all black, and then you have to clean it really, really good to get the pieces of, I guess, metal off of this. It says do not reuse old shop rags or sponges because of course it's going to be contaminated. Repeat cleaning a few times, allow it to dry completely. Once it's perfectly clean, apply your magnetic base. Now, one thing it doesn't say is, yeah, it says use 220 grit sandpaper, and this comes with 220 grit and 400 grit. So where in here does it show the 400 grit and what to do with it? It does say that the 3M adhesive bond to cure for 72 hours. Well, that's going to be 3 days, so I guess we're not going to be doing a print with this during this this video this week. So other than that, it doesn't have anything to say about the, here it is, right, okay. Let's see, use, simply assure the magnetic base is clean and dry, affix the flexi plate into the position, ensure that when the build plate is fully lowered, there is no interference between the sides of the vat and a small lift tab protruding from the flexi plate. Print as usual. You may want to increase the bottom layer exposure time if you feel prints need more adhesion. I guess with the flex plate, you could turn that time a little bit higher than normal because you don't. It doesn't matter if it sticks really, really good. You can just, you know, use the flex plate, bend a little bit, and those should snap right off. Now you can wash the parts. Well, this is a normal thing. You're just telling you how to do it. You will find a large ridge parts pop off as soon as the flex or flex plate, but smaller individual supports may stick a bit well. In this case, use a spatula to help them to release from the flexi plate. If there's any areas still stuck to the flex plate, you can scrape these carefully with the spatula, chisel, or razor blade. If needed, retouch the surface with 400 grit sandpaper, and then clean the flex plate with IPA. So the 400 is if you have something stuck to this sheet and you dig it up like this is done a little bit, you can sand it back out with the 400 grit. So I guess that's what it's used for. Now that I know, so there's 400 grit, so we know that's put away for a while. We're not going to be using that. And here's the 220. And I understand, you know, I just want everybody to understand how bad this plate has become in 5 prints. And 3 of them failed. All right, let's begin the sanding process. Take this and put this in half and put this straight up. looks pretty clean, or pretty sanded to me. So now let's just spray it down. Nice and dirty there. Spray it down again. We want to make sure that there's no contaminants on this. Again. So yeah, I'm going to use this. It's going to be a little bit more, these blue towel, shop towels. They're not as rough as paper towel, so they're good at cleaning off things that you don't want to scratch. But those cotton towel, the one that I got first, this one right here, is a cotton towel, and I use that on the FEP. Okay, and we're going to keep on wiping this until we see nothing. Okay, we're almost there. Let's do another sheet. Okay. And it is clean. Okay, let's stand it completely up. Excellent. So it's clean, and I have sanded it pretty good, but you can still see that it has the gouges in it. Imagine if I had to sand it like that every single time I did a print, there'd be nothing left of this build plate. So I hope the Wham Bam plate, or the flex plate, kind of like stops that problem. So I'm gonna have to turn this toward me to be able to inspect this and make sure that it's dry. So we'll grab another one of these that has no alcohol in it and make sure that we have no wetness, no dirt, no nothing. Excellent. All right. Now, what it said was to pre-check to make sure that the Wham Bam is going to fit on the plate and understand how you're going to get it to stick, because I believe once this starts sticking, there is no going back. All right, I think we're going to treat this just like we did the sticker on the X1 Carbon. If everybody remembers that I used blue tape, I didn't use the little tool that they let you print out. And this is a lot heavier than that. So I have it on the table itself, and what I'm going to do is put the blue tape on the sticker. Right now, of course, it's all off of the space where it's supposed to be because I pulled it when I pulled the blue sticker. Okay. All right. Now, if we can get this perfectly down, across the build plate, do this. We should be able to do the same thing that we did with the sticker. Get this dirty stuff out of here. And peel this back and still be perfectly on the plate, in theory. Okay. So we're going to bend this over. And we are going to I really don't think the tape's doing us any good. Okay. Now, hopefully, all right. We have the Wham Bam plate on. All right. Now, remember, this adds at least 1/8 of an inch to your the thickness of your plate. So you will need to do another leveling after this. All right. I think we can take these off now. Maybe the tape did help a little bit. But remember, this did say that it's going to take up to 72 hours for this to dry. So don't print with it until it does. But it doesn't say that we can't do the level right now, so let's go do that. All right, hope everybody can see okay inside the printer itself. So the inside of the printer has 4 tightening screws and 4 springs. And that's the leveling system on the Jupiter. We'll cut it right there because I didn't have the tool to unloosen them. Okay, so for the Jupiter 6K resin printer, you have to loosen all 4 of the side screws. And what this does is allow the spring mechanism to go to its full lower height. As you can see that they're popping down when I do this. See? Once they hit the spring, it becomes a tension on them. Now we get our piece of paper out, like normal. This is what everybody does to do that. And I put the Wham Bam completely on. And let me make sure this is all the way out. Okay. And inside the top has little divots where the springs actually will reside. Now with it fully loose, nothing holding it, it's not tight, we go into the system. So we go to manual, and then we hit it's just like the home button, but here it doesn't say home, it just has a picture with the plate all the way down, which is going to take it to its lowest setting. So let's do that now. So now it's leveling itself. It's going to lift itself up, and then it's going to go back down again to its home position. This is the home position. This would be on every other resin printer. You would take it to the bottom, and then you would tighten all your screws. So this is the same with this. The only difference is, let's just hand tighten them real quick. Okay, is you have to do it cross-sectioned both ways. So we're going to start with number 1. We're not crushing them down either. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. All right, one more time, we're just going to go back through them. Just not tight, I mean not like don't hammer it down tight, but just tight enough. And then back to the last one. All right, she is leveled with the Wham Bam plate on it, and now we're going to go back up and I'm going to go back down and make sure it was still good. Okay, now we're going to tighten this all the way back down. And the paper should still not move. So we're still good. All right. Like the instructions said, there is no printing on this until 72 hours. So you let the 3M glue on the back of the pad or magnetic pad completely bond, so there'll be no falling off during printing. So everybody, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that the Wham Bam build plate, flex plate, will probably save us from actually getting rid of the resin printer because I don't think it works. When you're disappointed so many times, you just kind of almost give up. And I don't want to give up on the Jupiter. I think it's probably going to be a beautiful printer, but we'll see. Again, thank you for joining the show. Please hit the subscribe and notification bell if you can. It really helps the channel. And like always, stay awesome.